Welcome back to another episode of the 4Expedition Gear Guide. This episode is brought to you by Rock Pals, Northwest Overland, Black Label Garage, and by our 4Expedition Patreon supporters. Hey there everybody, and welcome back to another episode of 4Expedition Gear Guide. I'm Scott Luthold. Today we're going to do something a little bit differently than I normally do on the Gear Guide. I'm going to do an unboxing. And the reason I'm going to do an unboxing is because I just received a shipment in the mail for some things that I bought myself for my birthday. My birthday's coming up next month. And the items that I bought are just really incredible. I can't wait to share them with you because I believe they're going to truly enhance my ability to shoot video out in the field, which will ultimately help me create better quality videos. So I'm really excited to share these items with you, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, first and foremost, most of you are probably already aware that I shoot exclusively with an iPhone 11 Pro Max. And I've tried in the past to add other accessories onto my iPhone, and most of the time they just have turned out to be too cumbersome. The apps associated with them generally tend to run poorly, that's what I've experienced in the past. And so at the end of the day, I always end up just with the iPhone 11 and shooting just with that. But I'm not really all that thrilled with having those limitations because I would like to be able to zoom in more. I'd like wider angles. I'd like better low light capabilities. I'd like smoother pans and things like that. So I invested a little bit of money in order to be able to get a few new things to try out. And I'm pretty excited to see how they work for my capabilities out in the field. Some of you may recall in the past, I've shot with some lenses, really high quality smartphone lenses by a company called Moment. And I still have some of those lenses and I still do use those from time to time. So I did go out and buy a couple of more Moment lenses. I'm going to go through those with you here in a little bit to show you what their capabilities are and why I bought them. And then in order to be able to mount those lenses onto my camera, I bought a new Moment case. We'll go into that in a minute. And then I also bought a brand new state-of-the-art gimbal that you probably have not seen before. And it's made by a company that is well known and respected in the filmmaking industry. And then I got a counterweight system that is attached to that gimbal in order to be able to stabilize the camera for the heavy lenses because these are really solid, heavy lenses. All right, so Moment makes their own cases to be able to mount their lenses onto the case. And they're really cool. So you buy this Moment case and it comes with this little insert here. And you can see right here these little circles. And these circles are designed to work with the lens backing. And you take the lens and you push it into one of the circles and you turn it, and it locks into place. And so if you have a landscape image going, your lens is over here. And then in order to be able to use it with a gimbal, you put a counterweight system on this side. They have different kinds of cases. They have thicker ones and thin ones. I actually use another case with my phone because I tend to drop it quite a bit when I'm out in the field. And I bought a case that actually can survive very, very heavy falls. And I use that all the time. I'm really happy with it. But this case, you have to use a Moment case in order to be able to mount the lenses. So at times I'm going to have to take my other case off, and when I plan on using the lenses, particularly with the gimbal, I will then have to swap out the case. That's probably not ideal, but it's something that I'm willing to do in order to be able to get higher quality video. I bought an anamorphic lens, and anamorphic lenses are really pretty neat. First of all, what they do is they crop your smartphone video in a horizontal format that seems very much like a cinema quality video. And the other really cool thing that the anamorphic lens does is it causes a lens flare. So you might be filming something at night and there's some neon lights, and when you use this lens, it puts this really cool flare across the front that also feels very professional, like cinema films. Comes with this really nice little cover on it, a rubberized cover, and then it also comes with this really great little bag, and it indicates which lens this is. So you take this and you stick it in this little bag, and you put it in your little your travel filming sack, And then when you have all of the other lenses available to you as well, they all have their own little bag like this. Really cool. All right, so next up is the 58mm telephoto lens by Moment. I already have the 60mm lens, and this one replaces that. So they no longer have a 60, they're now at a 58mm lens. And they've completely redesigned this lens from the ground up. They've optimized the optics for the new larger sensor on the iPhone 11, which is what I've got. And then they've optimized for dual lens devices. So you can achieve a 2x optical zoom when mounted over a single lens camera, or if you have a multiple lens camera like mine, you can actually achieve a 4x optical zoom when you mount it to the iPhone and then you use the Moment Pro camera app. Those are really great developments for this lens. It's going to give me the ability to be able to zoom in closer and crop in on things that are further away and keep a sharper image when I'm zoomed. That's going to be a really great feature for me. I like to shoot out in the field, and oftentimes I don't have a zoom lens because I'm using my iPhone, and having a camera lens like this I really think will help quite a bit to improve my video quality. So, and again, has this really nice aerospace metal, nice rubber face on the front, comes with a nice little 58mm bag, and you stick that in there, and boom. Once again, really nice little setup. All right, up next is the macro lens, which is a 25mm by Moment. For me, I've mostly depended on the iPhone's macro lens, which is a really great lens in itself. But using the Moment macro lens, I'm going to be able to get even that much closer. And this is a really nice little lens as well. Pretty much same as all the other ones, except this little lens is pretty cool. It actually comes with a little hood on it. You can screw that little hood off pretty easily, and you can film with just the lens if you so choose. And you can put the hood back on if you'd like, and it does a really good job of helping protect the lens when you're doing close-ups. Sometimes you don't realize just how close you are to something. Helps keep it from bumping the face of your lens, and it also shelters it from some of the light and allows you to capture better quality lighting and color on the things that you're shooting close up. Also comes with a little bag, and it also comes with a little rubber cover on it. You can take this hood off, and then you put the cover right on the lens and stick it in the bag. All right, so just to demonstrate how you mount it on there, here's the back of your phone, here's the back of the lens, stick it on there, boom, locked on. Very simple. Stays on there very well. That's what it's designed to do. All right, so there's a couple of things having to do with my filming that I've deliberated on forever. One of them is a gimbal, determining whether or not I really needed a gimbal. I do capture some fairly level shots, although I'm sure some of you get a little bit sick when I'm walking down a hiking trail and there's some bouncing going on. So I'm really hoping to be able to remove that sort of jitter in my videos. And I deliberated for a long time on getting a gimbal, and most of them are the types that are sort of a post. You hold onto the post, and then the phone sits above it, and they're actually pretty good size. And I'm not saying that the one that I bought's small, but it's a whole different configuration, which I'll show you here in a minute. The other thing that I've deliberated on for quite some time is a drone. I've been on adventures in the past where I've captured drone footage. However, I was using somebody else's drone. And I've considered at times getting a drone because I'd like to have a number of really high quality flyovers. I will probably do that sometime soon, maybe even before the end of the year. Primarily, I think my hesitance has been with the cost. Quality drones are a couple $1,000s, and I've just not felt the need to get one. But I can say that on this last series of trips that I took, the Lost Coast, Oregon Coast, Olympic National Park, out on the San Juans, all of those places, there were times when I think having a drone along would have been really nice. So I may consider doing that pretty soon. And if I do, then you'll all see some higher quality aerial footage as well. But right now, what I'm excited about is this new Movi handheld digital gimbal. And they actually call it a cinema robot. And Movi is made by a company called Freefly. And Freefly is considered one of the premier gimbal manufacturers for cinema quality film. And we're talking about the really big gimbals that people use to make production films. They have actually invested some time and energy to come up with a really high quality digital gimbal. And as you can see here, this isn't your typical gimbal. And we're going to open this up, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about some of the capabilities and features that this really cool gimbal has to offer. Wow, comes in a really nice case here. Check that out. Really nice foam case. Keep that in. Now that might be a little bit big for me to carry around in a backpack, but there will be times when I'm filming with a gimbal, and there'll be times when I'm not filming with a gimbal. All right, so let's take a look at this thing. All right, look at that. That is some pretty serious technology right there. Wow, and that's really solid to hold. Let me put this little side here. This thing here, first of all, it stands very nicely, very easy to use. It's got some really cool controllers right here, so you can just do one-handed controls. And then it's got this really great rubberized handle underneath it. So when you're walking around, you can actually film with your finger here. There's also controllers on the front of it. It's almost like a joystick for a video game. And then you can walk around and just kind of hold underneath like this to maintain some stability if you need to. But what I really love is the ability to be able to shoot with one hand. Right now, it makes it very difficult when I don't have attachments and devices attached to my phone to be able to do one-handed filming. So that's really cool. One of the other things that's really pretty neat about this device is that on the bottom of it, you have a mount to be able to mount this to your tripod. I really love that because oftentimes I'm doing a lot of filming with my tripod, and I'll use my tripod actually as a selfie stick or something like that. And I'll be able to use my tripod with this thing. So I can walk around with this on my tripod or have this in my hand and still be able to capture some great footage. And there's some other really neat features about the app that comes with this device that I'm going to tell you about in just a little bit that's going to allow me to be able to capture even better quality pans and things like that. So one of the things I decided to go ahead and get right away was this little hood. It actually took me a little bit of time to find it, but this company actually makes this hood. And it's designed really well. It's got this little stretchy strap on the back, and what it does is it mounts on the top of this handle here. You push it down like that, and then you stretch that around, and it locks on. It doesn't really get in your way. It's really nice. You still can get to all of your controls. It doesn't get in the way of your controls on the front either. And the purpose of this little hood is to create a mounting point right here. And you can use this mounting point to be able to mount lighting, microphones, and things like that, which is really nice. I've actually got a couple of different mics. I've got a Shure mic and I've got a Rode mic, and the Rode mic would mount on here very nicely to be able to get better quality audio when I'm in a windy situation, which I'm sure some of you have noticed I've had a problem with at times out in the field. All right, so let's take a look at the counterweight system that I bought that is designed to help balance out your phone when you mount the heavy moment lenses on. So Freefly makes these really wonderful machined weights. I mean, look at the quality of these things. And they're very heavy. And those mount onto this little device here. And then you have this little attachment piece here. So I'm going to show you how that all gets mounted onto your Movi device here in order to create that level. Okay, so first things first, the Movi actually has a lock here. So you can take it and unlock it. And you can see here that it swivels this way, it swivels this way, it swivels this way. It's, you know, it's designed to be a digital gimbal, so it swivels in a lot of different directions. We're going to open that up and loosen it. We're going to take this device right here, which has got a flat side and a convex side, and it's got these screws. We're going to take these screws and we're going to screw them right into these holes right here. All right, so the next thing you want to do is you want to take these weights and you want to put them in these holes. And they lock on. You just slide them in. So last but not least, we're going to take this claw here and we're going to mount it right here on the back side. All right, so as you can see, I've got the weights all mounted on now. I do not have the Movi turned on, but you can see here, when I tip this up like this, once I put the phone in here, these very heavy weights will even out with the lens on the front of the camera. So I have to go through a process now of leveling that off before I turn it on. All right, so once you get it finally leveled off manually with the counterweights, then you can turn it on, install the app that comes with it from Movi, and the first thing you want to do is an auto calibrate. And then you're pretty much good to go, and things leveled off, you can go out and start shooting and have a good time. I'm really excited about getting out there and starting to film because the app that comes with this has a lot of really cool features like hyper time lapse, slow motion, a lot of really cool different things. And so now with the moment lenses on the front and some filters and things like that, I should be able to capture some much more beautiful footage So I'm going to go out and spend some time with this thing and play around with it, and I'll probably do a follow-up review of this down the road when I'm out on one of my adventures. Alright everybody, I hope you enjoyed this episode of 4Expedition Gear Guide and you learned a little bit more about the mobile filming equipment that I use to create the videos for my channel. If you haven't become a subscriber, I'd love it if you would. Of course, be sure to hit that notification bell to be notified when videos go live. And if you'd like to support 4Expedition, go to 4expedition.com, go to our store. We have a lot of really cool products in there you can buy. And if you'd like to become a member, go to 4expedition.com/join to learn about becoming a member of Team 4X. Until the next time, take care.